What is up guys, it's Cal, and in this video we're going to be talking about BREWFEST 2019 and everything new that has come with it. I usually do this every holiday, or every holiday event, as long as some new additions have been added. And this year's Brew Festival definitely has some. So first off, BREWFEST is an event that occurs from September 20th to October 6th outside Ironforge and Orgrimmar. Then there's various quests and dailies you can complete to get BREWFEST prize tokens, which can be exchanged for toys and pets and transmog stuff and whatever. Oh, I should also mention before we get started that there should be a mission at your table about BREWFEST which will give you 10 tokens once completed. This is essentially telling you that BREWFEST is up. Okay, so the first new addition to BREWFEST is this new game. It's an eating competition where you eat sausages, and Britta Steinhardt, I think is her name, is the NPC looking over it. Her name is Etka, if you're Horde. If you talk to her, she sells a BREWFEST Chowdown trophy for Chowdown champion tokens. Those tokens are only acquired from winning this minigame, and you can win it as many times a day as you want. She also offers a one-time quest to attempt the competition, and that will award you with 25 BREWFEST prize tokens. So what is this Chowdown competition thingy? Well, you essentially have to get by where these flags are and spam click one of the 4 seats that you might see 20 people standing on top of. That's how you participate in the competition. Once you're able to get in, you have 3 abilities. Number 1 has you eat a sausage off your plate. Number 2 has 3 charges and lets you drink beer. And number 3 asks for another plate of sausages. So the amount of sausages that are on your plate are random, I'm pretty sure, but in the end, everyone eats the same amount of sausages. It's like sometimes I've had 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 sausages on a plate at once. Now, when you eat one, your bar you see there will fill up. The amount that fills up is pretty random too. It seems to be usually around 25, but it can be 15 or it can be like 35. You don't want that bar to fill up all the way or you get stunned for 3 seconds. And every 2 seconds or something, it goes down by 5 anyways. Now the number 2 ability has you drink alcohol. This will drop your sausage bar, or whatever you want to call it, by a significant amount. It's different each time, but that's what 2 is for. And like I said, you have 3 charges for it. Each charge has a 10-second cooldown, and then the 3 ability will ask for another plate of sausages once your current plate is done. So each time you finish a plate of sausages, whether it's 2, 3, or 4, you can then press 3 to get a new plate. And the first person to eat 10 plates wins. That's what the number at the top of your screen signifies. Sounds easy enough? Right. Wrong. I think I'm probably just really bad at it anyways, because I was going at it for like an hour or 2 and I won 2 tokens. Also, each time you finish a competition, whether you win or not, you have to wait 5 minutes, or it might be 3 minutes. I've had the debuff say both, but you have to wait that amount of time before you try again. So that's the new minigame added this year, which will award a toy, the Chowdown food, whatever it is. So let's head over to Abelby Quick Switch, who sells most of the stuff for prize tokens. This is Blick's fixed widget if you're Horde. The first new thing is this bottomless BREWFEST Stein. I think they have a new one of these every year at BREWFEST, or at least they used to. It's only 10 tokens and it looks like you're holding a nice cold one which obeys gravity, which is cool. And then there's this garland of grain for 150 tokens. It's a garland with a pretzel on it. That's obviously a transmog piece. Then there's a BREWFEST Revealer's Hearthstone. This is another world event Hearthstone that Blizzard has added. They've been doing this with all the holiday events. It's just another Hearthstone, but it doesn't take up a back slot. And that's for 200 tokens. And as you see, it's a toy. Then there's also a Tabard of Brew for 200 tokens as well. And as far as items to purchase, that's it. 2 new toys, 2 new transmog pieces, and 1 bottomless BREWFEST Stein. All of this together, that's 560 tokens. And then the 5 Chowdown champion tokens for the other thing. Now the 560 can definitely be gotten on 1 character through the duration of BREWFEST. And just the first day, you can get almost 200 tokens if you're good enough. But that counts some of the quests that are non-repeatable. So what all gives you tokens? Well, let's get the non-repeatable ones out of the way. There's the Chowdown one, we talked about. Participating in that for the first time will give you 25 tokens. And then there's another quest called Chug and Chuck. It's super simple. You click at the alcohol on the table beside you, face Stout, drink the alcohol, and you throw it at him. Do that 5 times and you'll get 10 tokens. And then there's a quest called Pink Elix on Parade, where you have to go around to each of the capital cities, which ones obviously depend on your faction. Also, Ironforge and Orgrimmar are excluded. You also should talk to the NPC first to get these drunk goggles, then go to those designated areas, wear the drunk goggles, and you'll see pink elephants. Then you can use your items on 3 of them. It's pretty simple. I forgot to ask for the drunk goggles before I did this, so I got drunk by my own by getting on my yak, buying some plum drink, and you just gotta get drunk to see the elephants. Anyways, that's 40 tokens. You can also queue up for Core and Diabrew at the Grim Guzzler, who by the way will drop 395 gear for max level characters. Defeating him will give you tokens, but defeating him for the first time will award you this quest item that when you turn it in will give you 40 tokens. And then finally there's a series of quests at BREWFEST from an NPC that will have you ride a ram to a designated spot, grab a keg, it's just automatically thrown at you once you get close, and then you run back. You do that 3 times, that's 10 tokens. Now I'll explain the ram riding portion in a bit more in a second, but those are all of the one-time only quests. So the first day you're guaranteed 125 tokens. Now for the dailies, for that ram quest, after you turn in the quest with those 3 kegs, you are then put on another quest where you're automatically set out on a ram to do it again. This time you keep going until the timer runs out. Now how this ram works is you're given an extra action button, spam click that, and you'll see this buff go from blue to yellow to red. Blue, or actually I think that's more of a green, anyways, that's the slowest setting, and red is the fastest. Now the faster you are, the more exhausted your ram will be. And if that reaches 100, then your ram moves super slow for 15 seconds. Don't let it reach 100. Now for this minigame, you won't have to worry about that really. You want to keep your ram going as fast as possible the whole time, because there are these barrels of apples that greatly reduce those number of stacks, so your ram won't get exhausted as fast. Just run by the barrels to get it. There should be 3 of them, one by where you start, one about halfway, the one where you get the brew. Just run over each one when you can to never worry about your ram getting exhausted. Now for each keg you turn in, you can get 2 tokens, and it also adds 30 seconds to your ram timer. So I usually are able to get like 12 kegs before time runs out, so that's 24 tokens. Not too bad if I do say so myself. So that's the ram riding minigame that can be done daily. Then there's another ram riding quest called Bark for something something. It's just called different whether you're Alliance or Horde. Now this will have you run around Ironforge or Orgrimmar on your ram yelling random things out. The hard part about this is there are no apple baskets on your way, so you'll have to go extra slow at some parts or your ram will get fatigued. Completing this daily gives you 15 tokens. Now other than those 2 things, you can do Core and Diabrew each day as mentioned before, and he'll give you 15 more tokens. And then finally the last daily that gives you tokens is sort of a new addition this year. So every year at BREWFEST, the campgrounds can get attacked, and before it was just always Dark Iron Dwarves. Now even though they're an allied race, they could still attack the campgrounds, but there's also a chance that Hosen will attack, or elementals, which are little brew elementals. They can attack BREWFEST, so you have to defend against them. And this apparently happens every half hour. I don't know. I felt like I was waiting around for 2 hours until the elementals began to attack. So for those, we just have to drink beer on the table and it will automatically throw at them. Take all of them out and you've defended the camp. Completing that daily quest gives you 10 tokens. So all these daily quests will give you at least a guaranteed 40 tokens. Then depending on how well you do on that ram riding one, I'd say 60 tokens a day is safe. And that's that. That is BREWFEST and everything new with it in 2019, this year. So just to reiterate, this year there are 2 new toys, 2 new transmog pieces, and 1 bottomless BREWFEST Stein. And there are more toys and transmog pieces than that, of course. There's also a few pets. Those are from last year's though. So take a look at them and make a judgment if you feel like you'll need to also do this on another character to hopefully get the rewards sooner. But anyways guys, that's the entire video. If you found it helpful at all to you, then feel free to leave a like on it. You can sub to the channel for more videos like this. And I will see you guys in the next video.